Hi, this is Mitch Doan, and along with Jamie Richardson, we're your hosts of the Break-Thru Active podcast. We aim to deep dive into health and fitness that will help bring you a better understanding of topics that are of interest to you and can help you on your own journey. If you are enjoying the episodes, we'd love for you to leave us a rating on the platform you listen to your podcasts. Enough from me, sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome back to the Break-Thru Active podcast. I've got one of our fantastic members, Sam, with us today, who is a member at our Adamstown location. So firstly, Sam, thanks for taking some time to jump on.
No worries. Sorry, I think that's my dog in the background.
Oh, I thought it might have been mine. I got the back that might be barking too. No, that's okay. But no, we just wanted to discuss a little bit about Sam's journey with us. She started with us last year, and then also just what she's done in the past regarding exercise and training and things. So tell us a little bit about what you had done, I guess, prior to meeting us, exercise-wise, gym stuff, sport, anything in that realm of your life.
Yeah, sure. I guess I've tried lots of different things in the past. I always played netball when I was younger. I guess that was my team sport of choice. And probably started my fitness journey more in my early 20s when I did running and did some nutrition with that. Weight Watchers back in the day before points in the original form. And then just kind of started from there. I had some really good success on that program. And then I guess it always seems to be a bit of a roller coaster, goes up and down and roundabout. And so I tried lots of different things, went to gyms. I always liked classes. That was always the thing that I did at the gym. I never did like free weights or anything like that. So I guess cardio based. Cool. And then just carried on. I guess probably never maybe being very consistent, or then as you go through life and have children, your time changes and stuff like that. And I guess that's kind of where I am now.
Cool. Yeah, it's a bit of a familiar story that we hear from people sort of around sort of your age and your point in life when you've got kids that are starting to grow up a little. So how old are your kids again?
I've got two boys. They're 13 and 10.
Yeah, okay. So obviously they're not, out on their own yet, but they're probably getting a little bit older where they can fend for themselves a little bit. So they can, they probably don't need mum holding their hand all the time. So it gives you a little bit more time to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well. But yeah, a bit of a familiar story in the sense that, Weight Watchers, it's funny that just about everyone I speak to who are, around sort of your age or older or a bit younger, they've sort of experimented with that. And I even remember back, it would have been probably 20 years ago, like my mum doing it and having like the little Weight Watchers book where it had like all of the points and, she'd be eating dinner and she'd be like sifting through the pages and adding up the points. Cause I think it was like 20 points in a day. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, very popular back then. And it's still around, I think. But it was obviously just a bit of a thing at the time that a lot of people sort of went down that road with nutrition. But yeah, it's something that, that sort of thing. And then obviously jumping around a little bit from thing to thing. And obviously as you've started to sort of have kids and things, lifestyles changed a little bit. Tell us about your netball career. Did you ever have aspirations to what's the Sydney, the New South Wales team called? Sydney Swifts?
Yeah, Sydney Swifts. No, never aspirations. I just loved the game. It was one of my very few first jobs reffing. No one ever wanted to ref. So I got good money to ref. And yeah, I just loved the game. I just thought that was easy money because I loved playing. I loved watching. So it was a great way to earn $1. So just played Saturday comp and dabbled for years in indoor netball, even when I had kids, and tried to have them on the sideline and play and do all that. But in the end, it's just played mixed too with my husband in a mixed team when we had kids. But it's just so hard on your body eventually.
Yeah. So much just stopping and starting, and you're jumping
Yeah.
and you're pivoting and you're going from, like a full sprint to having to stop so you don't obviously step with the ball. And it's, really hard on ankles and knees.
Mm.
Most people who've played for a substantial amount of time have some issues with that, because it is a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, definitely. Good fun though.
Yeah, no, and it's sort of, we have a lot of people who have history of netball or basketball or sort of team sport, because obviously with us doing sort of like our smaller group training, it's in that sort of same group environment, and a lot of the people who enjoy sport and everything that kind of comes with exercising in a group, it kind of carries over to the group training stuff that we do. So it kind of
Yeah, that's right. And I guess it incorporates that social element.
Yeah.
Which is, something that's always, as a mum, when you're time poor, you're trying to kill two birds with one stone. So often that can be a good way to do it.
Yeah. I know you're a very busy woman. Obviously, you're working and two kids and a family and everything. So at this point in your life, how are you managing to sort of keep your exercise and training consistent? Because I know when we first spoke last year, it was a lot about making some time for yourself and balancing that. So tell us a little bit how you've made that work so far.
I think it's actually an attitude and a state of mind. And I kind of had a bit of a epiphany moment last year, where I guess I added up all the money that I spend on my children's activities, and I'm always happy to spend money on them and anything that they want to do, particularly if it's to do with their physical health or something active. But I've never been prepared, or for a long time, to spend that money on myself and create that time and space for myself. So I think that was the main shift for me. And I think all my different things that I've tried over the years is actually just trying to find something that I really enjoy, and trying lots of different things. And it's always come back to group training and a class format. And I've just made the time, and I guess trying to focus on myself. And as you said, my kids are a little bit older and they need me more emotionally now as opposed to physically, and so I'm just making myself a priority.
Yeah. No, and I think I'm not a parent, but I speak to a lot of parents, and you have your stages. It seems like a parenthood. Obviously, there's times when you need it a lot more, and there are periods in your life when you don't have too much time, for yourself to be able to do some of the things you enjoy, or some of the things, for your own health and wellness and things. And it is kind of when kids sort of start to get towards their teenage years, and maybe they're a little bit more, I guess, dependent, independent as opposed to dependent on parents. And just having that little bit of extra time, but it all comes back to a decision. Like you said, you've kind of worked out, I'm spending money on my kids and encouraging them to do fitness and sport and things, and just not really, sort of looking at it from your own perspective. So by the time we sort of connect with people and we're having that initial conversation, most of the time they've had a bit of a layoff from things and they're looking to get back into it. Like yourself, they've just decided that now is the time, and now's the point that I need to start to get into things, and obviously still being a great mum and a great parent, but just having a bit of time for yourself as well. So how does your body feel now compared to maybe back when you were, let's say, in your 20s, or you're a little bit younger? Like, have you noticed any difference with how your body recovers and things?
I actually find the recovery not too bad. I guess the changes definitely take a longer time. It's slower. It's definitely a slower process, but what feels slower. I don't know if it actually is, but it feels slower. But I think my recovery's good. So yeah, I'm really happy. I guess I have been fairly consistent across my life with always doing something. So I think that's helped.
Yeah.
Even through pregnancy and with the kids when they were newborns, tried to do, the pram classes and all of that stuff. So yeah, no, I think it's good. I think the biggest change I've noticed since I've started with Break-Thru is definitely my energy levels and probably my attitude about myself, probably just because I feel like I'm taking control and actually doing something for myself. So just that positive attitude, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have that feeling of accomplishment. I think when you know that you're, putting time, effort, money, resources, energy into yourself. And I think when that switch flips over in your mind and you are sticking to, something you spoke before, you kind of, bounced around a few different things, which I think is very normal. But, the period you've been with us, you've been very consistent and obviously made the most of it. And like you said, feeling a difference in your energy and how you feel with that, I think is really important, because it's not always about, what you weigh or anything too numerical. Sometimes it just is for peace of mind and how you feel, and knowing that what you're doing is something that is positive for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And setting an example for the kids and trying to do what, my parents are getting older and my mum's very dedicated to her
Oh, good.
health. She goes to the gym twice a week and, I guess inspires me as well. And that gives me a lot of relief knowing that she's in good health and is fit.
Yeah.
And that's something I want for myself too.
Yeah. And it's been such a shift, I think, in the last, I don't know, 10 or 20 years. Like when I was growing up, like I'm in my 30s, when I was growing up, like my parents would, like, my dad used to play football when he was young and he'd go to the gym a bit there, but going to the gym as an adult just wasn't really a thing unless you were playing
Yeah.
level of sport, or there might be the odd aerobics class or something, which was, or the bodybuilders that were the big muscly guys, but for just the everyday person, like there wasn't really much there. So it's interesting now seeing how, like I said, the last decade or two, where like people like yourself, you've got kids who are growing up, and if they're seeing mum exercise regularly and, putting it first, I think that's going to have a really strong carryover effect to what they feel is normal. If they think, when you're older and you're an adult, and, they probably think you're like a million years old, because everyone who's 10
They
thinks
do.
things that, so when they think, oh God, my mum's a million years old, but, she's still, exercising and working out and does that a few days a week, and having that instilled in them, I think is really important, because when they get a bit older, they'll just feel like it's the normal thing to do. It just is.
Yeah, I absolutely hope so. And this health, fitness, and nutrition and staying active, I think hopefully they're things that will see them well through a healthy life.
Yeah. Well, it can go, I don't want to talk too much. I feel like one of those old men, complaining men, when you talk about the younger generation, but it can go sort of one or two ways, I think, with kids. Like when I was young, it happened, but more so now. You've got some kids that are like so obsessed and addicted to video games and being in their room and not really doing anything active. And then you still have, a bunch of kids who are out active doing sport and running around and everything. But it's a lot easier now for kids to not do any of that active stuff, because so much of technology has improved so much. A lot of their communication with friends is through like the gaming and things. So it'd be very easy for them just to do nothing. So there's an argument that it's probably more important than ever that kids are still involved in some sort of like formal exercise, whether it's sport or, the gym or something like that. Otherwise it can just go on the wayside a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree. And puberty and hormones and all those natural changes haven't changed in children, whilst our surrounding elements and I guess activities have. And so I think, particularly being a mum of two boys who are going through puberty or, just before, I think they have a lot of frustrations, and it's good for them to have an outlet, a physical outlet that's safe, and it makes them feel better at the end as well. And you can use music and I guess other things, but having physical activity is where I see they get a real benefit.
Yeah, and you made a really good point then. Like it's their makeup hasn't changed in the last 10 or 20 years. It's just the options available to them have,
Yeah.
the accessibility to technology. Like I still remember having like dial-up internet. So it was like I'd be on the internet and mum would be like, get off the bloody computer, I want to call, I'm a friend. And then
Yeah,
I
or
have
you
to
just
get
get
off.
kicked off, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, you get that awful sound. But
Yeah.
yeah, nowadays, yeah, like kids have phones. Obviously, they got like Xboxes and PlayStations and things. So it's, yeah, very, very easy to sort of go down that route of being a little bit less active. But yeah, to my point, I think it's great when parents are able to lead by example and be something that their kids can see is normal, a normal part of adulthood, and hopefully when they start to grow up and get older, they'll sort of get into it because they saw that mum was always around it and be a bit of a positive influence that way.
That's
But
the plan.
yeah, cool. Well, that's probably a good place to leave it, Sam. But thanks for coming on. It was nice to share your story and a little bit of insight about what you've done and a few of your thoughts around everything. But yeah, it's been fantastic to have you on. It's been great having you part of the gym and looking forward to having you with us moving forward.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If there is a topic you'd like us to discuss that we haven't already, please make sure you reach out in Facebook Messenger and we'll do our best to cover it in the upcoming episodes. For those of you enjoying the podcast, we'd love for you to like, subscribe and leave us a rating. It really helps us grow and spread the good word. Hoping you're all having a great day, and we'll be sure to see you on the next one.